And back here sitting on my deck at mine and Carolyn's house. Actually, mine and Carolyn's deck at our house. And just want to finish up this third video for you today. Thank you for listening to me and my ranting on about love. And I'm going to try to post those three prophecies, uh, about seven different points that I talked to you about today, so you'll be able to read those as well. So I'll try to post that on Facebook today as well as the videos. So anyhow, you know, me now working and like I said, Carol and I had got us a little apartment. Actually, she had done all that. See, Carolyn was very good about um, being able to do things, and she didn't always have to wait on me. She didn't have to always wait on my okay, even though she ran most everything by me to be okayed. And she knew it was okay for to get an apartment for us when we come home, so we would be together and be alone at times as well. But we did visit with the parents a lot, my folks a lot, and our friends a lot, and we were going to church with mom and dad, and we were going to a Baptist church there in Silsbee, Texas, and so we would get involved in church like we were involved in evening ceremony and things like that. But at the time when Carolyn came home, she had gotten her a job. She was working at a place called West Gibson's. And West Gibson's is sort of like a Walmart, a now-day Walmart. It had a lot of variety of things in there. And she was, you know how Carolyn is, she always could get friends and gain friends because of her friendly nature and the love. You know, you can, I think you can really identify to this and see this. You know people that are loving people when you meet them. You know, well, you may not know that's love, but you know that some reason that you like them, some reason, you enjoy being around them, and the reason that you're enjoying that and being around me, being around Carolyn and even my family and my kids, you enjoy being around us because you may not realize it then, but you're enjoying love, the love that we have. And so that's contagious, see, and that's what I want to be. I want to be contagious to you, that you catch what I have, and that you get a good dose of it, and that you'll enjoy it, and you'll find out that your outlook on life will be a lot better, and life will be a lot brighter for you, and there'll be light even in the dark times that you're going through. And so, like I said, you're able to see that on people, and that's the way it was with Carolyn. People were able to see that on her, and they loved being around her. And she was. The Bible talks about being a common denominator, or being able to deal with anyone, or to understand people, is that when you have that love in your heart, in your life, like Carolyn and I do, is that people begin to want that, and they don't really know what it is in a sense, but it is love, the love that we have for Christ, the love that we had for each other, and the love that we have for people. And like I said, that is a contagious thing, and we hope a bunch of y'all catch that, and you will. If you'll stay around us long enough, you will. And so, like I said, a lot of people don't understand that's what it is. They just understand, well, I enjoy being around them. They're funny, they're always talking up good things. And what it is, we don't want to walk in darkness. We want to walk in light, and we want to be light to this world. I want to be a light to you. I think it's great. The Bible talks about, it says the spirit of a man is a candle, it's a candle of the Lord. And so when you see that in people, that light, that candle inside, that's love. And so you can't see that unless you're around people that have that. And so I hopefully that you see that in me, and I know you saw it in Carolyn, and how she affected so many lives and continued to do that. how she has continued to intercede for all of us here that are still here on earth. She's making sure that we're covered in prayer, and I love that. I love to know that life continues to go on, even though that we're away from each other for a period of time. And so, that period of time may be just a few days, a few months, a few years, or many years. But we know that we will be back together. And I'm looking forward to that and excited about that. So, like I said, Carolyn, she began to show that love and begin to glow outside of her. And she began to have favor. When you walk in that kind of love and that kind of life and that kind of character, you will have such favor. And how can you explain that? Because that's what follows you when you walk in love. Favor follows you. You say, well, explain to that. Give me an example. Okay, it's just like when you want to be around me, you want to do things for me, you want to help me, you want to serve me, you want to just do good gestures to me. That's favor. When I go out and I deal with these companies and these corporations, I have national contracts and things like that. That's how I speak about my time when I go on appointments and things. I said, man, these people are going to love me. They're going to want to give me their business. They just want me to be around them, because me being around them, I bless their business. And that's what happens to me. Then I begin to have favor. And then I let them know why they like me and why they want to do business with me. Because I pray for them and I speak good to them. And I pray and when I say I pray for them, I pray for the people. And I pray for the business as well. I pray that business succeeds. I've even had times of prayer, and I've called several of these guys are CIOs, CEOs of the company, that God spoke to me about their companies. And I've even had times that I spoke to him about what God was saying to me. Now, he wouldn't say, well, when I say he wouldn't say, he wouldn't definitely pinpoint certain things, but he would give me words to say to them that would help them to understand this, or something that they're going through, or something they may go through in the future. And I talked to them about what God spoke to me concerning their company, and they said, well, why do you do those things? I said, because I'm in relationship with you. And I said, it's very important that when we be in a relationship for each other, that we're for you. I said, you're for me, right? You guys give me all this business. Well, we know we can depend on you and trust you, Tim. And I said, well, that's the favor that I have, the favor of God, and that's our relationships that we built. I'm not going to do anything to hinder my relationship with you. It's amazing that a lot of times I'll have companies call me to do business with me, or I call on a company and they do business with me, and I will hear stories of how this company was taking care of their communications, their IT, their surveillance and stuff, all that like that. Then all of a sudden they started messing up. I won't use some of the words that they said, but you know what I mean. They started messing up and things like that, and I said, well, okay, give us opportunity here. And they said, okay, we will. And I would think about, I said, why would those people want to mess up? I don't understand that. I don't want to mess up with these people. I don't want to take their relationship for granted. See, that's the same way in marriage life. Why would I want to mess this up? Why would I want to be against my own self? That's the way marriage works. You don't want to be against your own self. That woman or that man, married man to the woman, or woman be married to that man, you don't want to mess that relationship up. You want to guard it. And that's the same way I do in business. I want to guard my business. I want to be sure that I'm there. And they have said to us and said to me, said, man, I don't know why it is, but you guys always do a great job. I said, because we're here to serve you. We're here to be in a relationship with you. We're here to make your life better. We're here to make your business run smoother. And when you do that, then you don't have to worry about, is this going to work out, or if they're going to do a good job, or is this going to hinder us or slow us down or whatever. The same way when you're in a marriage, you don't want to do anything that would hurt your fellowship and then would hurt your relationship. You always want to be mindful of that. You don't want to be selfish in the sense that it's all about you, because it's not all about you. It's really all about you all, you two. It's all about how I relate to my wife and how my wife relates to me, how I relate to business people and business, and how the business relates to me. And then we all become successes when that happens. See, the better job that I do, and I'm always trying to improve how we do, because I always talk about it. I call them and say, how did we do? How did my guys do? Were they courteous? Did they do what you wanted them to do? And the majority of the time, there's been a few times said no, but the majority of the times they said yes. You guys did great. You guys are always doing what we ask you to do, and you even go beyond that extra mile. The same way you do in your marriage. You want to improve in your marriage. You want to improve in your love. You're always looking to have improvement and how to make a better life. Why wouldn't you? That makes a better life for you. The thing of it is, it's not the selfish side of that it's only you, because if you keep on thinking like that and doing like that, then it will end up be only you. You'll be out, or you run across somebody else that shows you attention, and then you think that's the one that you love and that's the one that you want to be with. And when all the time you've messed it up because you haven't walked in love, and you hadn't walked and worked on your marriage, and worked on your love walk. See, I work on my business. I work on my business every day to improve and to do better. And I'm always talking, and I'm always asking, I'm always communicating. How are we doing? How can we improve? What can we do better for you? I always say, I thank you for allowing us opportunity to do business with you and whatever the company name is. We really appreciate our relationship we have together, and let us always be able to communicate, because it's so important. Because you'll have things out there that's going to abide for your love. It's going to abide for your attention. It's going to abide for your relationship. It's the same way in business. You got people calling that business and trying to give them a lower price and trying to promise them this and promise them that, and they haven't showed any stability. They haven't showed any relationship. They haven't showed any fellowship with that. The same way with your life, and same way with your wife, same way with your husband, same way with your family. There's things always out there biting for that, to steal that from you, to kill that from you, and then to destroy that from you. It's always looking out there. That's why you ever be mindful of talking and communicating with people. It's so important. Some people say, well, I don't have very good communicating skills. You can talk when you need something. You can say, well, yeah, I want that, or I want to buy that, or yeah, I want this or that. Or you communicate them, and you do the same way in your life. I do the same way in business. I communicate with those people. And you know what? I'm always the first one they call, because they know that Tim and his company will be there for them, and that he'll do a good job. And it's the same way in my marriage was. I was always working on my marriage. I was always considering Carolyn. I was always considering the way that I treat her. I was always considering, how I talked to her. If I would say anything that would hurt our fellowship, I didn't want that to happen. I always wanted our fellowship to be strong, and our relationship is strong, and that's the way it is, and that's the way it will always be. Because see, I seal that in my love, and I seal that in my commitment. That's the problem, is there's not much commitment nowadays, because there's always wanting to try things out. And I want to say this to those that are in situations that they're living with someone, they're trying it out, or they're sampling that type of life. I'm not coming against you, and I'm not being trying to be ugly or judgmental to you. I'm just trying to save you some things, some hurts, and some bad situations in your life. Don't go at it backwards. Work forward to it. Build those relationships. Remember I talked about, and go back and listen, and I'll talk more about this as well. I'm talking about being intimate and having intimacy, knowing spiritually, and knowing mentally, and then knowing physically. Like I said, that's always backwards. It seems like, they want to do this. That's kind of like wanting to buy a car before you paid for it. You want to borrow it, and you want to drive it around and see if you like it before you decide you want to buy it. You know, or you driving the car before that you decide to buy it. The same way when in relationships and everything. Just don't try at a relationship. Communicate in a relationship and talk about that relationship. Begin to see deeper than just the surface of that. and that takes an effort. That takes a willingness to do. Begin to see deeper. Begin to see deeper the inside of that. Not just what you gain from it, because that can be easily taken away by another distraction, another thing that's pulling on you. And that's what happens to men in marriage and their wives, and things like that. And first thing you know, I got water cooler talk with a girl, or with a woman or a man or whatever. And then he begins to say, well, this person is showing me more attention, and then I get it home, and then also the biting for pornography on the soft pornography on TV, and then movies, and pornography and movies and on the internet and things. See, that's all to pull you away from your fellowship, and then it wants to hurt your relationship. It wants to give you something that's not real. See, those things are not real, because those are fantasies, and then people try to act them out. They try to make them real, and then they become devastating to them. They become very hurtful. Then it ruins their love walk. It sets them back. It knocks them down. It pushes them away. It causes hurt. It causes divisions. It causes great disaster, So don't let those things distract you from that. Don't try to have that relationship before you have a commitment. Again, I'm not trying to be judgmental on that. I'm just trying to save you some time. I'm trying to save you some life experience, and I'm trying to save you from hurts and disappointments and things like that. I hear it all the time, and I think that's what we've got to kind of get back to, the basics of life, the basics of relationships, and understanding relationship and building relationships. Yeah, does it take time? Yeah, it takes time, but it's worthwhile, and it'll be a valuable thing through a lifetime. Like I said, Carol and I are married 49 years. I never wanted to be unfaithful to Carolyn. Did I have those draws, and her as well? Did we have those draws of somebody else wanting our attention and wanting us? Yes, everybody has that. Everybody has those temptations, and those things will play in your mind, and that's why you entertain those thoughts. You cast them down, you pull them down, you throw them away, because they're not there to help you. They're there to steal from you. So, like I said, people could see love in Carolyn. They could see her, and they didn't understand it, or they didn't say, "Well, hey, I see Carolyn, I see love." No, they didn't see that. They saw Carolyn. They saw someone they wanted to be around. They saw Tim, someone they wanted. They saw Tim, someone they wanted to do business with. See, it kind of comes out of our pores now. We ooze out love. That sounds kind of weird, huh? But that's the kind of aroma that's the kind of perfume and cologne that we have. When you are around Carolyn and I, we have our own smell, and that aroma and smell is a perfume. It's a cologne smell, but that smell that you smell, that's a smell of love. A love that we have, and we want to be a good fragrance to you. We want to smell good to you. We want to give you a good feeling, a good sensation at that time. We want you to have those things, And that might have been a poor example, but Carol and I have been known for our colognes and our perfumes and things like that. It's been something that we've done for years, and we've wore the same. I wore the same cologne for 30 years, and Carolyn the same perfume for 30 years or more. So you do give out an aroma, you do give out a smell, and we want that smell to be the love smell, that the smell that you get is love that comes from us, and we want you to understand that fragrance and aroma. God talks about that you are a great fragrance to his nose. That he smells. That's the love that we got to have. That's the love we must have. That's a love that brings this favor. So, like I said, Carolyn was working at West Gibson, and she was having so much favor. And first thing she knows, she was just kind of stock shelves and things like that, and put merchandise out, and had an area that she worked on. First thing I know, she done moved up. She became a department manager of some of the departments, some of the housewares and things like that. And of course, Carolyn, she's always good about talking. She great conversationalist. She had a better voice than I did, and she probably expressed herself better than I do to you. I was writing my friend. I was telling you about encouraging her during this time that she'd get discernment and direction. She would see new vision. She would see great manifestation, and great changes were coming, and this would be a turning point for her life. I wrote in there, I said, Carolyn was one to express it more in the written word as well as verbal. And I'm more of a verbal because I can't spell. Sometimes I misspell things like that, and stuff. So I'm a better talker, even though I don't talk very well, because I love to talk and I love to express. I remember Carol. I remember when we would go to men's seminars and things, and I may have mentioned this before. And I'd come back home. Well, Mandy would ask Thaxton. We'd go to a men's seminar. Mandy, my daughter-in-law, would ask Thaxton, my son, and say, "What did y'all have a good time?" And Thaxton said, "Yeah, we had a good time." "Well, did you learn a lot?" "Yeah, we learned a lot." "What was the message about?" "Well, we talked about becoming a man, and she said, I would always come talk to Papacita. That's what Mandy'd always call me. She'd call me Papacita. She said, I'd always go talk to Papacita because he could talk woman talk. I said, I don't know if I like that or not. She said, oh yeah, you talk woman talk. You talk detail. You talk about everything. You try to explain everything, So that's why I'm trying to talk to you. I'm not a woman trying to talk to you woman talk. I'm a man talking to you in a man talk about what women would need to hear and what men need to hear. I'm talking to you with a talk of love. I get excited about that. I get excited to tell the stories, and it's great how God just kind of gives me insight when I begin to talk about my life, mine and Carolyn's life together. He was even talking about the return. I was returning back, and I was returning back to Carolyn. Now it's the time that our nation needs to return back to God. See how God always works that in, even in my story and in my life, how love works it out for the good. It works it out for good. And love, that's a love talk that we have. We have the love talk to you. I'm talking to you. Listen to me today about love and how much we love you and how much God loves you and how much you need to love yourself. Get away from those problems. Get away from those situations that doesn't bring you love and doesn't give you an opportunity to talk in love and not to understand love and have love. Get away from those opportunities. Get away from those relationships. And you say, well, I'm married. How can I get away from that relationship? I'm talking about if you're married, the relationship that you're having in your communication about love and understanding love. Those that are not married and that are in relationship that you may think are good, oh, everything's fine right now and this and that. But if there's no commitment, it won't be true love for you, and you won't have the exciting life that God has for you to have. So again, like I said, I never judge a person's situation. I never condemn, bring condemnation to people, you know, that I don't think's living right or whatever. I say I don't judge you, and I don't condemn you about your life. I look at your life the way the Bible talks about the way the life you're supposed to have, and then that's when I talk to you about it. I'm not trying to put you down. I'm not trying to make um, to make you feel bad. I don't never want you to feel bad. I want you to feel good. I want you to feel good about yourself, about your relationships, about the things that you have, about your life, and to look forward to life and look forward to a good life, a great life, a perfect life. You can have that. You can have that. So again, Carolyn, having this personality has now become over this department, and we were both working at that time. We didn't have any children at that time, and so life was really good for us. Financially, we'd save money, and I'd send money home, which was a blessing too, because when I came home, I still had the red car, you know, that we had, and uh, had bought another car. They bought a Chevrolet Impala, and was able to pay cash for it. And so that's kind of a staple thing that we had in our life as we went along in life and bought vehicles and things. We just paid for them. There were times that we did make notes and stuff like that, but the majority of the time we always just were able to pay cash for 'em, stuff like that. And I'll explain to you how you can do that too, and how you don't have to always be in debt, because when you're in debt, you're trapped. You're trapped by the dealings of people, and that the Bible says, "Oh no man but to love them." There you go. Love. We're talking about love again. And I know there's times that you had to make notes for houses and things like that, but don't be entrapped by it, where that's the only thing that you can do, and that gets you to the point where you're under the thumb, so to speak, or a slave to that, or those bills and those indebtedness, because God doesn't want you to be that way. He wants you to be profitable. He wants you to be able to have seeds to sow into good works and good missions and good lives in people's lives. Carol and I, throughout our whole life, we've always been able to give, to people that needed funds and finances and automobiles, and and things like that. And I think it's great to be able to do that, because that's why I said it's more blessed to give than it is to receive. Throughout our lives, and even now as well, we give into mission. We seed into different kind of ministries in people's lives. Even when relatives would need help or something, we were able to help them. And be able to, you know, we only do those things as God leads us. We don't do them out of the pressure or guilt of the situation. And when we've always done that, it's always worked out better for them as well, for us too. That the return of that would be is that it's more blessed to give than to receive. But when you give, you can't help but to receive. So when I give love out to you, I can't help but to receive love back. It may not come directly from you, but it will come from someone. It will it will come. I know it comes from God. He shows me that all the time in my life, and that's what Carolyn was showing. And so we had talked about, buying us a house, and we thought, well, we're not making that much money, but we're making a whole lot more money than we did before, and how could we afford to have a house? And so what we did, the very first house we bought was a new home, and it is a little house, and it was only $150 a month. Can you believe that? And we thought in ourselves, that's a lot of money. I guess back in those days it was a lot of money, but nowadays it's nothing to pay several $1,000s a month for a house. And but anyhow, we were thinking about buying a house, and we were talking about it, and we started planning and what we wanted to do, and I'll talk about the little house that we did buy, and then at that, and we're living there at that time, and how God was blessing us, and how our love was working out all the things that we needed for us to live a happy and a victorious life. And so I want to tell you again how much I love you and how much I appreciate you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to you and hopefully be able to express more and more. Maybe we can talk more in detail about certain things that we'll be talking about in our story. But I want to say to you like what always Carolyn said, and she's still saying it, we are eternal. See, Carolyn's eternal. We are eternal. We'll be eternal with her there in heaven. We'll be eternal there with God too. And so I'm excited about the eternal life that we have together. Again, I say what Carolyn always says. I mean, I'll repeat this many times. We are eternal, and we'll talk to you soon. Love you guys so much. Have a blessed day.